As a nation, Brazil is the 13th largest petroleum producer in the world, with an estimated output of 2.5 million barrels per day. And more than 90% of oil drilling in Brazil is done offshore, according to the Brazilian government. That's why Brazilian authorities are closely following the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico and will be meeting Friday to reevaluate their security systems.
We want to find out if what happened there can happen here. Do we have a safe operation? What's the level of safety? The most important thing right now is to follow closely what happened in the Gulf of Mexico to understand its causes and to determine what is the best thing to do in a similar situation.
Brazil already has a tragic experience with oil spills. 2 explosions killed 11 people and sunk an oil platform with 9,500 barrels of oil in March of 2001. And the year before that, almost 8,200 oil barrels of petroleum spilled from a pipeline into a swamp right next to Guanabara Bay in Rio de Janeiro. The cleanup process was overseen by Carlos Mink, former Minister of the Environment.
After the great oil spill we had in 2000 in the Guanabara Bay, we came up with regulations, including emergency plans for their ships.
As a result of the disaster, it is now the law in Brazil that ships carrying oil must have a double hull to prevent spills. But the disaster in the Gulf of Mexico raises concerns in Brazil about whether the safety measures implemented so far are enough to prevent a catastrophe.
The most important lesson is to first admit that there will never be 100% safety in offshore drilling. We have to take measures like redundant security systems to avoid situations like this one.
But for now, plans to drill off the country's coast are continuing. Petrobras, Brazil's oil company, is currently exploring at a site that contains oil deposits located at a depth of 7 kilometers. Petrobras is also interested in the Gulf of Mexico for more practical reasons. The Brazilian state-run energy giant owns 2 fields in the Gulf of Mexico and is scheduled to start operations for production sometime in August, although President Barack Obama has temporarily suspended petroleum activities in the area. Rafael Romo, CNN, Atlanta.